Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough on how to use particle analyzer to do particle analysis in image metrics. One key advantage of image metrics over other software package in terms of particle analysis is that you can do particle analysis across all images inside image metrics. Now traditionally in other software, when you do particle analysis, you can only analyze particle metrics from one image at a time. But in image metrics, you can do it for all the particles across all the images at the same time. So here I have 10 images open, so you can see. Um, and as you can see on the right side, there's a panel called particle metrics. And here I can choose my particle sources and my image sources. The image sources is listed on the top in this sides panel. You can see there are all images, current image, and you can also select your custom image source by click the new setup. So you can, for example, say you can choose an image source from image 1 and image 2, so you can do any combinations. And on the bottom of this panel, you can see the particle source. Now you can choose all the particles from your image source. You can also choose selected particles, marked particles, or individual particle from your image source. So this is what I mean by a combination of image source and particle source. So that's what separates image metrics apart. So in this table, I have the particles listed, right? All my particles listed from all my images in one table. Now that's not possible in other software where you can only list or you can only do particle analysis from one image at a time. Let's take a look at how particle selection works. You have multiple options. The first option is you can right-click an image. Under the particles submenu, you have your image source. All images, this image are in the current view of this image. Now you can select particles based on your image source. For instance, I can select particles only from this image, or I can select particles from all images. Yeah, I can do a bunch of operations here. The other option is you can draw an inspection box. Just click your mouse and drag over your screen. Now you have this inspection box, and you have a submenu on a particle. Now you can select particles within this box. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Select particles in this area. Now you can see I selected about 8 particles, okay, within that area. Now let's go back to our table here. So right now I'm still showing all particles from all images. If I want to see the particle matrix only from these 8 particles I just selected, all I need to do is to click Select Particles in this tab. Now you can see the 8 particles that I just selected in this table, up to 8. So now let's cancel these selections. Okay, let's do that. And just right click the image and say I want to cancel selection on this image. Now on the table is clear, right? Because we have not selected any particles. Now let's go back to all particles. So here I'm going to do some quick filtering of my particles based on some simple metrics, such as area and volume. And for our purpose, let's use volume to filter the size of our particles. As you can see that we have these are protein images, and and this is a very densely populated. Some proteins overlap on top of one another. So you can expect to have a broader distribution in volume. So let's go to the volume column in this table. Um, yes, this is let's click on one cell in this volume. R means real, so it's the volume real unit. And when you click that, you get the statistics of all your particles and the distribution of the volume in this um, panel at the bottom here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a filtering bar on this distribution. You can right click this graph and say place a data range bar. You can use lower bound or upper bound. Let's use the upper bound here. So what it does, it places a bar, a vertical bar here indicating, so this is where the upper range of the volume is. And the lower range is from the minimum. And you can also verify that from here in the filter section. So from the volume filter, right, from 2, right? So the upper range is 1.6 e to the minus 25. That's where the blue bar is. The lower range is the minimum of our volume. So once you do that, um, now the reason I did do that, place the bar here, is because I can see there may be two species of volume. So we have a lower volume, maybe peaked at 1.25 here, 1.2 here. I mean, we also have another peak at around 2 or 2.25. So maybe it's a broad distribution, but we can roughly categorize them into two different species. So the smaller volume, right, is what I'm currently doing is I'm going to pick filter in the smaller volume. So after I decided the range by placing this bar, I can then right click and say I can filter these particles on R particles. Okay. Um, I can also, after I filter the particles, I also assign categories after filtering just by ticking this box. Let's do that. So in this case, we can assign categories. Say like we can assign a specific category to the particles that we just filtered. Let's see how that works. So let's click on our particles. We're going to filter the volume according to the range that we just selected. Okay. Click all particles. Now you can see it asks me to select a category for the particles I just filtered, right? Because I just ticked the box that allows me to specify categories after I perform the filtering. So let's make a new category. Let's give it a name. Okay, in this category, let's say it's a small. Okay, on the volume. Okay, let's click OK. And let's give it a specific color. Say it's red. Click OK. Now the particles are filtered in red. Now I can repeat the same thing for the other half of the distribution. So let me delete this bar. Let me place a lower bound bar here instead. You can place two bars at the same time, both the lower range and the upper range. So you can select to filter the specific distribution within that range. Right now I just need to do the lower range here. So this allows me to filter the upper half of the volume distribution. Let's go to the same thing. Let's say on our particles. And now let's make another new category. Let's call it big. and assign a color to it. All right. So let's go to check whether we make the categories correctly or not. Just clicking the Analyze tab. Now you have the category listed in this category job box here. See, it's there, and also its color red and blue there. After we made our categories, we can show them by selecting all the particles since they are color labeled. Now, as you see, I have the particles labeled in blue. This is the category that I named big, the big volume. Now I want to see other particles. Let's see, this select all particles in this image. So you see the particles labeled in red. That's the small volume. So it matches the category color that we just labeled. So in this way, you can get an idea of the distribution of the particles um, by using their color labels. Let's see the distribution of the category that we just made. Now to do that, let's first show the column of the categories. Okay, that's by right-clicking this table. Okay, now I select Show Columns. I can select the volume category. I just select two of these. Now I have these the category of volume shown in this column. So after that, I right-click this column, and then I can select categorical distribution. So this will create a pie chart for our volume distribution. So as you see that it lists the categories, the total number of particles, the percentage of each category that we just assigned. All right, that's for the quick walkthrough of how to use particle analyzer to do simple particle filtering based on particle metrics and also assign categories. All right, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.